Hello, this is Uncle Jim, and today we're going to test out my son's retro carbine. Alright, but there's a catch. Okay, so the catch is we already shot it yesterday and the day before yesterday, and this video was supposed to be done yesterday. But the first video was a cluster, and the second one didn't turn out too good. So I'm just going to show you segments. Okay. So, some of you guys are curious, how did it turn out? How does it work? And it works awesome. My main concern was, is the gas right for the M2 stock, rifle stock with the rifle buffer with a carbine gas length, which is harsher than mid-length and rifle length. And that was one of my concerns, but everything turned out beautiful. It's been totally reliable the last 2 days with all kinds of ammo. And it shoots pretty good, but it doesn't care for some ammo, the lighter ammo. It's a 1-in-7 chrome line barrel, an older Spikes barrel, but it feeds everything and everything works beautiful. Okay, so the first day we put out a fresh target. It's a 25-yard rapid fire target, and it was okay for a sight picture out there at 70 yards, but it wasn't perfect. And so my son shot it the first 2 days. I didn't even get to shoot it until the very end of the video, and I had 5 rounds. So there you go, West Covina. He neglected me. And I just wanted to see what the recoil impulse was. And it's a pussycat to shoot, so it's timed right, everything's right. Now, the first round we shot through it was the PMC 55 grain. And the very first round, you know, whenever you're checking a gun, we checked the brass and made sure the trigger was good. We only loaded 2 rounds, checked the trigger, make sure it's good. And the first round, the primer slightly backed out. And PMC's pretty mild, but you can see that slightly backed out. And I'm like, oh no, headspace or something. But it is the same bolt that went with the barrel. I made sure and switched those back over, put the gas rings back on it, because that had a gas piston on there and it didn't need the rings. And I'm thinking, oh no, please, no. After that, every primer was perfect, both days. Okay, so all the primers are perfect, center hits, everything was perfect. As a matter of fact, with the Hotter 5.56 green tips, no ejector marks, extractor marks, everything is beautiful. So that was good. And that tells me it's timed right, and the buffer is decent enough weight. Everything was great. So, first groups we shot on the first day. The first day was a beautiful day. I went out and put out that target. It's got a circle like this. It's a 25-yard rapid fire target. I staple that thing up and we come inside, and all of a sudden thunderstorms roll in. So we get out there and we start shooting. And there was a couple times I said, we got to get back inside because we're going to get hit with lightning. So the first day we were shooting through thunderstorms. And we started with the 55 grain, which usually shoots good in a lot of my ARs, even though they're 1-in-7 twist. But this rifle didn't really care for it, at least sighting in. It was kind of spraying them. So then I went to this, which I have a bunch of these on stripper clips, and I'm not quite sure what this green tip is. I think it's SS-109, piercing ammo. And so that actually grouped the best that day. And it did pretty good. It was like this. Now, we didn't really adjust the sights. We have a different upper on different sights and everything. The carry handle fixed upper. And the rear sight, I forgot to check, and it was over a little bit from center. So we had to bring that over. And I think he gave it a couple clicks up. He was shooting 6 o'clock, and then it was level. And these actually, this is not match ammo, and those actually shot good. All right, so day 2, I opened up a case of this stuff, the XM 855 penetrators, green tip. And we started this stuff here. This is more a civilian version. And I had a case of that I cracked open. But we started with PMC again, and again, it didn't group good, which it does in my other guns. The other thing is, we took the 3-prong knockoff flash hider off. The first day, it started coming loose, and I forgot to put a crush washer on there. And it started coming loose. So my son agreed, and then we put a crush washer on it, and there's no flats to tighten it, right? So we put an Allen wrench in there and dinged it up because it's cheap Chinesium. Someone gave that to me free. So we put a regular flash hider on there, and that was okay because my 70s era Colt Retro came with a regular squirrel cage flash hider. But once we put that one on with the crush washer, the point of impact changed. So we dealt with that again. And it was shooting lower. So we started off with the PMC, didn't like it with the flash hider that's going to stay on there. And then we went to the Black Hills. This is old stuff, gun show. It's not remanufactured. 62 grain, full metal jacket, and Black Hills is always pretty decent ammo. And that shot great. But on day 2, I had put 2 shoot-and-see targets out there, and I put them too low. I wanted to keep them under the berm because it all washed away. And so he had a terrible time with the sight picture. I looked through the rifle, I'm like, oh, there's no way I can hit anything with that. I didn't leave enough white space under the target, so he was fussing with that. But the Black Hills, even with the bad targets we had out there, shot a group about like that. So that is like 1.5 inches. And that's with the bad sight picture. And they were still a little low and a little right. So we moved the sight over to center, and it still shot about that far right. So, and then I didn't want to mess with the rear sight at all because I want to lower the front sight because it's already up there on the tangs of the front sight. So we're going to deal with that one later. And then we shot the XM 855 surplus stuff that was super cheap when I bought it, a case of it. And it's not your target ammo, it's for barriers and stuff like that. And we had to be careful, but luckily we got some rain, so we didn't create any sparks with the steel core at the tip. And that shot pretty decent. Now, on day 2, he finally got it up to his shoulder. And he's like, oh yeah, this is where it shines because it is so comfortable shooting it offhand, and that's what this gun is meant for. I'm probably rambling too much, but that's the gist of it. And then we used genuine Colt 20-round mags just for the retroness. Totally reliable, no issues whatsoever. And so let's show little segments and go from there. Okay, we're shooting lower than yesterday. We changed to a more traditional flash hider, and that might be it. So now we're going to shoot something we haven't shot, 62 grain Black Hills from a long time ago. Whenever you're ready, same target. Let me take my sunglasses off. We're in the sun and it's bad. Okay, I see where that went. Right. I gotta focus this. I'm on a cheap bipod with this spotting scope, which is a piece of crap. And we're in the sun. Okay, I see where you did those two. One's touching the corner of the orange, and the other one's to the right of it, a little lower. Just, oh, actually, wait a minute, I'm wrong. You're hitting the orange in the corner. Okay. That's good. That's much better. My son is not digging the sight picture. Wrong targets for this. Those are better for a scope. You're grouping in that orange corner, bottom right corner. Keep the same sight picture. Might have a decent group. Yep. Are you out? Primers on the first one look great. Yep. Okay, I haven't even shot this thing yet, but one thing we didn't check was ejection. So we have a carbine gas system with a rifle, buffer, and stock. Mid-length and rifle is much more mild, so I'm gonna have the bipod here while he shoots a couple at the swinger and see where the ejection is. I'm hoping for 4 o'clock, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So 3 o'clock ejection, not going crazy out in the universe, would be good. Otherwise, we're gonna have to weight down that buffer. All right, you're probably gonna have to aim a little left and a little high. Oh, perfect ejection. Oh, that's perfect. I had a 3.5 and I had a 4 o'clock, and okay, keep it running. Stay right where you are. He's right here, and the brass is right here. That is awesome. We don't have to screw with that. 3, 6, 9 yards. That is awesome. Are you loving it?
I am.
We just got to figure out the what the hell's going on. That sight picture is terrible. You did better with the one dot with a lot of white paper around it. I stuffed them too low, and you didn't have. You're trying to set that on the front sight. Now, on the front sight, I didn't want him to adjust the rear because this is as tall as the tangs on the front sight here. So what I want to do is lower this front sight and not screw with the rear end, because the rear end's perfect and I don't want a gap right here. So there's that. Okay, brass catcher is on. Shoot a few more. Yeah, go ahead. I was worried about the impulse, but judging by the ejection, it's perfect. And you're, oh, wait, let it swing. Oh, you're hitting it anyway. It's swinging everywhere. One more. Stop. Let me explain.
It shines at offhand.
Yes, my son says this is way better shooting offhand, and that's what it's intended for. It's not a bench rester.
It is so
and
nice offhand.
You're hitting that target, so I think you're good. The ejection's perfect. All the primers are looking good. So the impulse must be really good offhand instead of that hokey setup we had on the hot bench in the sun. It's very hot, nice day today, and we're having fun. And we're very happy about the buffer. Everything is timed perfectly. So other than that, we'll adjust that front sight. And the rear side, I want it as low as possible. That's awesome, isn't it?
I think it's your turn to shoot it.
Okay, I'll shoot it off camera. No?
No. Get on camera, bitch.
However, when we went target shooting, those are terrible. It's not, we need a big dot in the middle of a white. And he did much better yesterday. I think it was sight picture. I think this thing shoots good. Hey, if you're hitting the swinger, I'm happy with that. That's going to take care of business. All right. Okay, I want to check the impulse on this. Stone cold, never shot it before. Probably going to be a disaster. Oh, the spring. Just like the Colt. All right. And I'm missing it. There we go. I have sunglasses on. It's not helping. I only hit it once, but I haven't shot it before. The spraying in the stock is awesome. I miss that.
You can also tell when you're out because it makes it distinct.
But the spraying on your ear. Yeah, it's a little different than what I'm used to. All right now I could have hit it. Oh well, Dad sucked.
I think you're out.
But the impulse is perfect. It's fine. All mine are mid-length.
I think shoots great.
Softer gas, but this doesn't. I guess it's the rifle buffer because it's perfect.
Yes.
Absolutely love it. I love the feel of the handguard. It's a beautiful hot day with the beautiful clouds. You gotta love that. America. Look at this. They're right. We're so up high. They're right with us. I could reach out and squeeze me some cloud. Oh, right there. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. Okay, we totally enjoyed this. I think it's perfect. The last thing on here is he wanted to, as you guys know, he wanted to stencil some numbers on the stock like military or police. And I'm telling him, we got to call this thing 8-ball. It was a cobbled together AR that works beautifully. And it's got to be 8-ball. We got to call this 8-ball. And instead of putting some cop or military numbers on there, put an 8-ball on the stock. And he thinks I'm goofball for even thinking that. What do you guys think? I'm thinking it's got to be 8-ball. Pirate Ducky, come on, give me a vote for 8-ball. He thinks I'm goofball, but I think I'm right. We got to put an 8-ball on the stock instead of just some random 8 numbers. 8 is his lucky number, but it's got to be 8-ball. So you guys in the replies, tell me what you think. I'm thinking 8-ball. All right, as a side note, I really like these cheapo strap-on brass catchers. The only problem is you got to modify them. And my son did modify them, and you put a plastic piece here, and they work perfectly. This brass catcher would not work on the retro handguard, and there's no Picatinny rail, okay? And that's why I use this, because I can use it on so many guns. I've had this for 8 years, 8-ball, and look, it still works perfectly. And it'll fit on guns that don't cooperate. So, there's that. Give me your votes. I'm thinking 8-ball. We got to have an 8-ball on that stock instead of some, stenciled number 88 or whatever. Place your votes. Think of Uncle Jim. It's not goofball. It's got to be 8-ball. Anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time.